How's it going, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Crypto Clout. I am your host, FaZe Crypto, and today we'll be dedicating this episode to something that is very near and dear to many cryptocurrency speculators' hearts, mine included, of course, which is privacy technology in the cryptocurrency space. And I think that really Verge is a very interesting case study when we want to explore the various different privacy options as far as cryptocurrency goes. And when we want to talk about Verge, I've actually included this on my top cryptocurrencies that are valued under a penny for a number of reasons, which we'll be indulging in over the course of this content. And of course, I think that it's also very important to reconcile the difference between a privacy cryptocurrency and what we're starting to see. I mean, of course, Congress drew a fine line between Libra and crypto, which is very significant. And of course, we've been seeing accountants make serious Facebook warnings. Of course, the crypto community at large reacting to Libra, and essentially what's going to be the opposite of a privacy coin. I mean, I don't expect to get much privacy from Facebook at all. I mean, you don't really expect to get much in general with that sort of company. They get a lot of their money from just collecting user data and all these different things, but I could actually see that as being a pretty good upside when we want to talk about the potential that's out there, when we want to look at the various different cryptos that have the potential to fill that gap of when we want to talk about privacy technology. And I think that one of the more interesting perspectives that I've seen in regards to this whole phenomenon definitely has to do with when people consider cash as the original privacy exchange of value, at least. And when we want to talk about the future going digital, it's very interesting to think about the concept of digital currency sort of overlapping with that same paradigm. So always interesting to look into these different cryptos, because you never really know when you're going to find a diamond in the rough. And I'm thinking about Verge as one of those cryptocurrencies. I mean, currently the number 71 position, and it's very interesting to see how far Verge has actually come along as far as establishing themselves, with key levels in the cryptocurrency space. And I mean, they still have quite a while to go, but at the same time, I think that they've positioned themselves in a very interesting way. And all the sort of FUD aside, all the variables of the current cryptocurrency space, not really, putting all that stuff off to the side, I think that it is interesting to look into Verge. So, that'll be the subject of today's content. I think we'll be going over a lot of very interesting topics, especially things that we've been seeing, in the comments that you guys wanted us to talk about. Of course, with Verge, we actually just recently, saw 6,000 people downloaded Verge, of course, iOS wallet from App Store. And I mean, it's actually really interesting to see how, only a little while ago, we were seeing a lot of, hype around Verge. And I think that it'll be interesting to see how privacy cryptos continue to get that sort of interesting amount of attention. And I mean, that'll certainly reflect itself in the price, and it'll definitely reflect itself in a number of other variables as we've been seeing the overall trajectory of the cryptocurrency space sort of evolving. We do see it's a completely different animal than it was even a year ago. The overall expectation that people have for their cryptocurrencies of choice. I mean, we're looking at Bitcoin at $10,000, relatively $10,000, sort of teetering on that 9,900 level, but of course, Bitcoin dominance being at 56.6%. I mean, it is interesting. I mean, you look in the news, and of course, we're going to see Chainlink welcomes, Stakefish as renewed, node operator grows the Link Oracle network. Decentralized, finance growing to reach billions of users. So, of course, the fact of the matter is that every single day we're seeing more institutions putting Bitcoin and the like under the microscope. And it's going to be very interesting year, I would say, from 2019 to 2020, just to watch how the overall space is going to evolve. Play with Verge, 85% of adult entertain. It's kind of funny to think about Verge. You think about the original internet, back when what the internet was originally used for. And I think, social media has sort of, overtaken the large proportion of internet use activity for a number of reasons, pretty much because it's a one-stop shop for all sorts of different things that people initially had to go to various different shady websites to get, but at the same time, it's also very interesting to see how Verge has been able to really position themselves in a way to take advantage of a lot of these different key indicators as far as how we're going to be seeing the space evolving along the trajectory of where we can expect to see the internet go from here. I think that we're always witnessing the internet in a constant evolution, and it's definitely interesting to see how something like Verge has been sort of evolving alongside many of these different variables. And I think that the space is very I think that overall, there is a high demand for a secure and anonymous cryptocurrency, for everyday use. Sure that there's a lot of people out there who agree with that overall sentiment, and just watching how the overall space has been sort of. I think one of the things that people are really talking about, in terms of mass adoption, is going to be how are payment processors and all these different entities going to overlap. And I'd say that's sort of one of the key hurdles that needs to be jumped over in terms of watching stuff like the success of the various different cryptocurrencies, and essentially where we're going to be seeing these things, in terms of success and failure. And it's definitely going to be interesting as we see a lot of these different aspects overlapping. And I suppose we'll see. I think that we've covered a lot of interesting perspectives over the course of the existence of this channel. Verge has sort of been one of a pet project of this channel, sort of just to look at how the potential for all these things, and definitely a very interesting case study at that. I don't think anybody would disagree. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about Verge. Those are my thoughts. I definitely am fairly bullish, as far as the existence of privacy technology. Pending the certain decisions that'll be made by a lot of these different higher ups, which in a lot of cases is relatively out of our control. At the same time, it will be interesting to see how Verge shapes up in the overall cryptocurrency space. But all that being said, remember this video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. Of course, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not your dad, so make sure that you guys make your own decisions when it comes to everything involving the cryptocurrency world. But yeah, those are my thoughts. If you guys are interested in connecting with us, it's at CryptoTuber on Twitter. Always interested in your perspectives. Top performers of the day, we've got Nexo, Aurora, Ren. But yeah, seeing the success of cryptos like Monero, and the various privacy technologies that we already see. It is a sort of a silver lining, I would say, as far as where we can expect to see the Verge, community expanding from this point forward. So I suppose time will tell. Hopefully this video ages well, but I could see some interesting things. Verge is definitely something that I remain, interested in, doing research in and all those different things. And I recommend you guys do some research in it as well. But all that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this content. I'll see you guys next video. Have a good one.